Okay, folks. So welcome to our Angular, full stack training. Like we are taking to the next step here from the JavaScript. As always, focused on the beginners. Again, a quick introduction about me. So there you go. I've been coding for quite some time now, and I've been tutoring for quite some time now. I have all these certifications and stuff like that, and I have my website and everything. So that's who I am. And today we are going to spend some time about HTTP methods, and then once we understand them, future sessions. As always, every session is connected. Previous session is connected to this one, and this session is connected to the next one. That's how it works. And today I have a demo project. So I have a specific plan as always. First step, as always, I have my one sheet documentation. So let me go ahead and upload that to the participants, and of course I'll also upload that one more time at the end of the session, so that both people who are early can get it right away, and those who joined maybe a little bit late or forgot to download in the beginning, they can get it as well. So I'm just uploading it now. Second. Hold on, Professor. Something.
Reminding you that
Professor, did you get any file or something? No, right?
the file is clear on our end. Yes.
It came through.
Yes, I can see it.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. I'm
One
not
sheet
getting it. I
document.
don't
Yes.
understand. There is some pop-up,
It is
some AI,
visible.
something which is blocking me from seeing my own messages. Okay, all right, Professor. Yeah, it really is just blocking me. Yeah, okay. So that's the. Oh, yeah. No, Professor, I didn't send it yet. No, I haven't sent it. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I haven't sent
Okay,
it yet.
you're talking about sending to the whole
Yeah,
audience.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
no, not yet.
That's what I.
Don't
Yeah, it was
see
the
anything
window was
like
a little
that.
bit small for some. So, guys, there you go. That is my usual one sheet document that I send at every session. And let me open that here. So yeah, okay. So you can see that it is actually an entire history of each and every session that I have done all the way starting from the first session. So it's almost like a summary. And today's session, again, you have the links of the project I'm using and everything. So please make sure you download it and everything and keep it ready. So that's the one sheet document. Also has, for those who are just coming in, all the essentials they have to learn to get started on our program. Right then. So that's the one sheet document. I'll share it one more time at the end of the presentation. Now, before we jump into the HTTP methods, understand what is this get, what is this post, what is this put. The first thing is I will be showing a project, and I'll also be explaining the code for you. I'll start this session and then I'll continue to the next session and then, build on top of that. So one of the things I found out last year in one of the sessions was that a lot of times I am giving you links and I am sharing my project to you and I'm running the project to you. But I have that GitHub community and everything. I'll get questions like a lot of times people are not even sure how to run the project, like how to get the project from the link. So that became like a bit of an important step. So since last year, for the last 5-6 sessions, whenever I introduce a new project into the flow of the sessions, I make it a point to go ahead and show the students whenever I start a new project explanation, I go ahead and show how do you actually download the project and then run the project on your machine. So first up, what will it look like once I do it? So because sometimes when you're doing technology things may not always work as expected. So I already have the project running. You can see it on the screen right now. So for example, if I click on this button, I'll explain this, later what actually this button is. You'll see that some data is being loaded. There's like a rotating symbol and some data is coming in from the database. So when I show you the steps on how to run the project, at the end of it, will take a few minutes. At the end of it, I should have something similar working one more time. But why I'm showing you an already running copy is if while I'm doing the steps, if I get any error, I don't want students to think that I myself don't know how to run my project. So the project is already running. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to get the project, and then how to, what are the settings, a lot of settings here, and then how to configure them. And finally, what are the commands you have to run to start the project. And finally, get this, blue, green, kind of grayish window coming. When you get this, okay, I'll show you, and then you will try after the session. Okay, if you have questions, we'll post it on the community. When you get this, you know you're on the right track, and you'll be able to follow along with my sessions, not only today's session, but the future sessions as well, because we'll be looking at this for quite some time. Okay, so I already have it running. Now, how do I run it one more time from scratch? That is the question. So the first step is, so the link. So I've given you the link in that one sheet document. So suppose I am a student now and I got the document, I downloaded it after the session and I want to give it a try. So I'll go to the today's session, session number 18. And at the end of it, you have a link which says back end. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one and it will take me, and it says right now that, okay, it is not available or something. It says, oh, that is strange. Why oh, hold on, folks. In that case, I'll have to try some other way. Okay, so I'll go back to this one. In that case, let me send you a fresh link, guys. So I'll go to my github.com, front end for students, and here I have full stack, and then I have nodes full stack. Okay, so this is the link, and the same link I have shared with you guys. Okay, it is working. Okay, guys, in that case, I'm putting that link. I think the previous link has expired. I'm sending you a new link. Okay, and it is recorded as well, okay, on the screen. So even if you don't get the link, you should be able to find it. So please copy the link, the latest link. The previous link is expired. Take this link from the chat. And of course, you also saw on the screen how I got it. Now, if you're trying this without the link, remember, yeah, go to my GitHub account like this. If you scroll down, you'll see there is something called front end for students. And then you'll see there is something called full stack. And then here you'll see there is something called nodes, full stack one. Part one is what we are doing right now. Eventually, I plan to take you to part two as well, but that is later. So right now we are focusing on part one. And this is what we are looking for. Here, there's a folder called back end. So this is what we are going to use for today's session and for a few sessions from now on. But how do we get it though? Now we know where it is. So this is the project. Next step is, how do you get it on your computer? So let's do that. So once again, on the top, go back to front end for students. And here, now those who are following my session regularly, hopefully by now you're practicing Git. Okay, if you're practicing Git, then you have the Git link here. There are two ways to get the project. I'll show both the methods. So first step, get this, copy that link. Those who are practicing Git, you know that link, what it is all about. And on your computer, let's go to I'm going to just create a new folder for the sake of this session. So here I'm going to say, AIU demo Jan 6. All right. And I'm going to open a window. And again, the people who are practicing Git, you know what I'm doing. I'm opening a terminal. And then I'm going to do my command git clone and then paste the link. And that will start cloning the project. Now, please understand that this is a fairly big repository. It has a lot of projects. So depending on your internet speed, it can take a while. Now, I am on a fairly decent, there you go, it's already downloaded. So it will take, but it is a big project though. Please remember, if your internet is slow or something, it'll take a few seconds. So this is for those students of mine who are there from the beginning. You're practicing and using Git with me. This step will work. This is option number one. Dr. Watson, are the steps clear, sir? Are you able to follow along the screen? Is it clear,
I'm
sir?
following you along.
Excellent, Dr. Watson. Okay, so that is option number one for those students who are, taking my advice, from all those, I think almost 18 months ago we started this. So the Git and practicing Git, this step option. But for those who are coming in the middle or they're not able to use Git for some reason, the second option on how to get this. So let's go back to the website. And here, once again, I'm going to go back to the front end for students. And same green button, but instead of going to the copy link option, there is an option called download zip. So this is the option for students who are not using Git for any number of reasons. Okay, not everyone will be able to use Git. If you're just coming in, you may not have seen the session. In that case, please check the recording on how to use Git. But still, though, you should still be able to get the code. So please go here. there is a button here called download zip. So just go ahead and click on download. And once again, same thing will happen. There it happened on the terminal. Here, the download happens like a standard file. Once again, as you can see, it will be a big project. So you will have to, give some time for the download to happen. So there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and let me hide the Zoom window here. It's downloaded. So I got the same stuff here also. So I'll copy this. I'll come to my desktop and I'm going to create a folder. Let's call this one again, AIU demo Jan 6. I'll just call this part 2 because there are 2 methods for the second method. So I'll put that zip file here and I'm just going to extract it. So there are a lot of files. Again, the extraction will take some time depending on how fast your computer is. Okay, there you go. So here, let me put them side by side to confirm that we have the same stuff. So see here, on the right side, I have the files which I downloaded, the code using the second method, the download option. Let's look at the first method. Okay, here, let's go. Jan 6th. Oh, not this one, sorry. AIU. Hey, that was desktop. Oh, there is, yeah, AIU demo Jan 6th. There you go, folks. Same thing. Left side using the JIT method, right side using the download method. In both cases, you can see here Bootstrap for students, CSS projects, in either way, you'll get the same thing. But this is a coding session, so I would still recommend that you please go ahead and use the Git method. Those who are new, please go ahead, go to the previous recordings where we have done Git, a lot of Git sessions. Please practice Git as well. Okay, so now I have the entire project. So where is my project? So here, let's go to the one which says, now you saw here before. So we went to full stack. We went to notes full stack 1, and then we went to back end. So the same thing I'm going to do here. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to go inside full stack, and I'm going to go inside notes full stack 1. And finally, I'm going to go inside a folder called backend. So if let me kind of make this a little bit bigger. Okay, there you go, folks. So if you did everything until now correctly, this is what you should have on your computer. So when you're watching this video, again, as I mentioned in my session, I like to think that I'm packing a lot of things. So hopefully you're pausing, slowing down, rewinding. So as you're following along these steps, if you reach this specific picture with, like something like this, something like this, something like this, something like this, then you are on the right track. So Professor, are you able to follow along till here, sir, before I go to the, okay, excellent. So the next thing is, again, as every session, I mentioned this, we are using VS Code for all our coding. So you will go ahead and right click inside the project folder and open the project like this. Okay. And the next step is, every project I share with you on my GitHub, I always leave behind some notes on what the project is and how to run the project. So the steps, even if you're not watching this video and you only got the link, these steps on how to run the project is always there. But still, these steps can be complex if you're just coming in new. So the steps are already there. So I'm literally going to follow the steps there and get this project to run. So what is the very first step? So the very first step says there is a file called .env.example, right? So on the left side, it's a little bit small, so you'll have to kind of squint. I don't have an option to zoom in here. It is the coding editor, all right? So you do have a file on the left side called env.example. So if you click on that, I've already put some things there for you. So it is a ready to use file. All you have to do is make a copy of that file and remove the word example. So let's try that. So I'm going to go here. I'll go back. In fact, you know what? I don't even have to create or duplicate it. All I can do is I just right click here. I can just create a new file. So I'm just going to say dot, don't forget the dot, env. Right? Look at that. When you do that env, Professor, again, I also request you to squint a little bit here, sir. You should see like a gear symbol when I do that .env. So make sure these symbols, guys, when you're doing it, you should get these things exactly the way it is happening in the video. So .env. So there you go. I have the .env. Go back to the .env file, .example file, copy the whole thing, come back to the new file you created and paste it. So that is the very, very first step. And I'm explaining this and it is written here as well. So I'm really just following my own steps, which I've written for the benefit of the students. The next thing is I see here that there is something called as a connection string. So guys, if you like check the PowerPoint here and also the invitation that you all received and you registered, this session is AngularJS HTTP methods. So HTTP methods, will go deep into it. We'll start today and continue in the future sessions, is all about sending and receiving data, right? Now, because we are talking about integrating stuff, connecting it to a front end, ultimate goal is to build an AngularJS front end application that communicates with the back end. So we want to make it like a realistic backend, which means we are going to use a real database. We are not going to use any dummy database. We are going to use a real database. So you have the experience of building a real backend API service. So coming back here, so once you have your .env file, the next step is to get a database running and using it in your project. So that is the second step. So there is something called as a URL. So a database, for those who do not know, is like a machine, like, it is literally a server that has a collection of tables. Each table will have rows and columns. We store data in a database so that when you are doing something, it gets stored, and then later when you want it, you can get it back. So that at the end of the day, that's what a database does. So your computer is here, your code is here. So anytime your software has to talk to a database, it needs some way to communicate. Like for example, every time I say like, oh yeah, let's take the example of the Zoom session right now. So when you register for this session, you get like a Zoom link to join, isn't it? So whether you're on your phone, whether you're on your PC on anything, you're able to click on that link, and that link will somehow connect like a magic show. It'll connect you to the Zoom session, right? Similarly, that is like a link. That's like a link which connects your computer with this session. Similarly, here we have a database URL. We call it a connection string. So it is really a string with connection details for the database. So the software that we are building, the server that we are building, is able to use that connection string and talk to the database. But first we have to get the connection string, right? So just like the Zoom session, before you can get the Zoom link, you have to fill a form, enter your details, email address, name, and all that, and then you will get the joining link. Similarly, we have some steps to do before we can get the connection string. So for that, we have to find some website, some cloud service, okay, which will give us a database. Now, databases cost money. However, there are some companies, for the sake of students, they give out free databases. So that is what we are going to do right now. So what we will do here is, so go back to your browser, and I want you to search for a website called Supabase. I just realized, what, I need to put that here. So let me come back to my PowerPoint. So I'm here. This is the step I'm doing right now, how to run this project. So I want you to know the name of the company which can give you the free database. So let me just type that here. Okay, database server, the free version, right? So we are going to the website called Supabase. Now let me make that a little bit bigger here. So I'm gonna go change the font size. I'll just make it 60. Okay, there you go, folks. So you have to go to your browser and search for this website called Supabase. It's a company. They provide very small but perfectly working free databases for practice. So I'll go here to my browser and I'm going to search for Supabase, and I get a list of options. So there you go, folks. Again, the session is recorded. So again, when you're following along, everything has to happen exactly like this. Otherwise, you won't be able to run my project. You have to get this Supabase Postgre development platform. And once you get this website, Okay, so there you go. You will come to the site which looks like this. We'll wait for it. Again, based on internet speed, this might take a while. Okay, so there you go. Once you are here, I'm already logged in, so it's showing my face. So how will it look for you when you are not logged in? So let's open a private tab here. This is just to show you how it looks because I'm already logged in. I'm opening a private tab. You don't have to do this step. So you will get a page like a welcome page like this. So on the top right corner, you will see there's a very small sign in button. So all you have to do is click on this sign in button and you'll get many options, right? Now this is like a website which allows login from many options. But as always, and I tell you this almost in every session, whenever you're trying to use some online service, please go ahead and log in with your GitHub account. Any kind of developer things, I'm pretty sure they'll all provide a github.com login. I don't know, today the Superbase website is slow, guys. My internet is fine because you're able to see me. So I don't know, today for some reason the company is having some problems, I guess. The website is a little bit slow. So you will get a sign-in page where there'll be an option like sign in with your GitHub account. So please go ahead and do the sign in with your GitHub account. Okay, if you don't have a GitHub account, today is a good time for you to go ahead and create an account. It's not loading for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe the website is having some issues. But once you sign in, you will get something like this. There you go. So once you sign in, you should see something called your organizations. Professor, am I any delay in my video? No, right, Professor?
Everything's fine, right?
It's the
With the
website,
right
guys.
tempo.
Yeah, I don't think
yes.
it's our problem, Professor. I think it's the website. They're having some issues today. Yeah, they're loading very slowly. Yeah. So, guys, it's not us.
Right.
You're getting it right. Exactly, Professor. So, guys, I don't think it's our issue. My internet is fine. Your internet is fine. It's the website. Maybe they're doing some maintenance, but you should see something like this. So you should see like your organizations, and usually when you create a new account, there will be no organization. So on the right side, there's a button called New Organization, and go ahead and create a new organization. Okay, I already have created one, so I can see here it's called Hello World, and then if I click on this, it'll show me many projects. So here, one thing to remember, folks, is you get two. I'm going to put that on the PPT as well. So you get 2 free databases. So normally what I do is if I have some commercial work like a client work, yes, I'll pay for the database. But when I'm just learning or practicing or teaching, I don't need a paid database. So what I do is whenever I need something, I create it, use it, and then delete it. There's no limit on how many times you can create a database. It's just that at any given point of time, only 2 databases can be alive. So what you have to do is when you're practicing, create a database. I'll show you how to do that right now. When you're done practicing or something goes wrong or you want to start over, just delete it and start a new one. So there's no limit on how many times you can create it. It's just that at any given point of time, you can have 2 databases running. That's the problem. It's not really a problem for learning, right? But something to remember. So I already have one project here. That's the one which I showed you in the beginning of the session, which is working. So I've already used up one of my 2 databases, but I have an option to create a second one. That's what I am going to do. So come to your website here, the dashboard, and on the right side, again, you have a nice green button which says new project, right? So every new project is essentially a new database. So let's click on this. And here, you have your organization. You can see here the free button is mentioned. Project name, anything you want. Not a problem. So I'll just call this one like AIU Superbase Postgre DB demo. I can give a long name, not a problem. I'll just call this one demo 1. Okay. Next is the database password. So there are, again, password creation. There are some rules you have to follow and everything. So unless you type the correct password name, like for example, if I type something very silly, like password 123, you can see that it says, oh, it's a very common password, you can't use it. So luckily there's a button here which says generate a password. So either you can spend some time creating a password or use this very convenient generate a password button and get yourself a proper strong password. Now here this is where I have to stop and remind the students. I'm going to put it on the PPT. So please copy the generated password. You have no idea. Every time I do the database session, okay, students will click on the generate password button. They'll click next because there's no time to waste. They're on the next page, but they never remember the password. So you don't want to be that student. I mean, you can reset the password, but just because you can reset the password doesn't mean you forget to copy the password, right? You know, it's like you have warranty on your laptop. Okay, so if the glass is damaged or something, you can get a replacement. It doesn't mean you throw your laptop in the water just because they'll replace the screen for free or something. So let's not do that, guys. So please copy the generated password, okay? So please copy the password. All right. So that's something I have to say because every time I do this, people forget. Students forget. I also sometimes forget. Not just students. Okay, so there you go, guys. So now, as I'm talking, I was about to forget to copy the password. So I'm gonna copy the password here. I'll go to my notes. And here I'm just going to put it in my example file just for my reference. I will. Okay, there you go. That's my password. Okay, it's okay if you guys are able to see it. Anyway, I'm going to delete the database in a few minutes. So it's all right. I don't mind sharing that password right now. I'll delete the database after this class anyway. So there you go, folks. So I have my password generated. A region, it doesn't really matter. Just pick a region closer to you. I am in India, so I'm just going to select Asia Pacific. It really doesn't matter. It's just a learning project. Select any region that's convenient to you and hit the create new project button. Most of the time, the new database will be created within seconds, but sometimes, there might be a delay, so we will wait. There you go. That's it. Okay. So you have a new database, a free database. You can see here on the top right corner, it says how many tables you have, how many functions you have, how many replicas you have, the usual database related things. On the left side, you have a lot of buttons, like table editor, SQL database, authentication. We will be using some of these as our sessions progress one by one. But for today, the only button that I care about is this one. There's a very tiny button. Again, this is something I mentioned in every class. These developer things, they're always tiny symbols. I'm sure you're used to it by now. Click on the connect button and you'll get like a window like this. And this is what we are looking for. It says direct connection. So this is the second most important step, guys. The first most important step is you get the project and all the files. The second most important step is you see something called direct connection. So when you reach this step, this stage of practicing, you should have this. Okay, you'll notice that the password is not displayed. It simply says square brackets your dash password. Why? Because the password obviously has to be a secret, and we did copy it and safely store it in the previous step. So here, once again, Dr. Watson, sir, I want to make sure you're able to follow through at this specific stage, sir.
I am following you up close.
Very good, Professor. Okay, so there you go, guys. So we have the connection string. So once again, there's a nice copy icon. I'm going to go back to my project. I have my example file. I'm just going to dump it here. So very good. So the second step for me was to make sure first I got the env file. Second, I've got my connection string. So what do I do now? I have the connection string. I have the password, but where do I put it? So I'll go back here. So there you go. This is my connection string. Okay. And here it says your password. So that is not the actual password. So I'm going to delete very carefully. Remember to delete the square brackets as well. Please delete the entire thing. And then get your actual password and put it in that spot. Okay, I'm going to repeat that step one more time because if this get messed up, the database will not get connected and you won't be able to run my project. So let's start over. So in the beginning, it looks like this. It says square bracket, your password. So I'm going to delete this like this. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to copy my password, put it exactly after the colon, right? You got to remember this. And So there you go. It should look something like this, guys. And I'm going to try to put this in the PowerPoint so it looks a little bit bigger. So there you go, guys. It should look something like this. Let me try to make that bigger. Again, it's okay. My password is visible there. I'll be deleting the database in a few minutes anyway. So there you go, folks. That's how your connection string should look. The word PostgreSQL, then colon slash slash Postgre colon your password, then the @ symbol, then db dot whatever is the URL name with the 5432. That numbers you can change, but the format will remain the same. So this is what you should have as your connection string. So let's go here then. So I have my connection string ready. I'm going to copy the whole thing and I'll come back here to .env. And then here, look at this line number 6. I have a box called database URL is equal to double quotes. I'm going to go here and I'm going to put my actual connection string to the .env file, which I created a few minutes ago. So this is the second, okay, this is the third step, right? Like the most important step here. So I have my env file ready now. So what is the next step? So I've got my connection string working. The next step is I need to run this command called npm install. We have done this before. So those of you who are following me along in all these sessions, you know we are using Node.js. You know we are using npm commands. You know we have to use node commands. So this will be very familiar to those of the returning students, the practicing students. But those who are coming in new, this is the command npm install. So I'll go to the top, terminal, new terminal, and then I'm going to type that command npm and then space and then install and press enter. Once again, this will download a lot of files, library files on your computer. So depending on your internet speed, this will take some time. Please be patient. There are times, even with the high-speed internet, the npm install can take 5 minutes, even 10 minutes, sometimes even more. Do not panic if the installation takes a long time. Unless you get an error, you might get some warnings like it. Please ignore them. It's totally fine. There are some duplicated things, not a problem. But if you get an error, it'll come up in like red color or big letters. Unless you get that, like how I'm waiting patiently, you will also wait. And while that is happening, Dr. Walston, let me drink some water. Yes, sir.
Reminding you, brothers and sisters, you are following Atlantic International University, a new live class session this of the year 2026, and we have Professor Jay with multiple aspects of Angular JavaScript.
Thank you, Dr. Watson, for filling the dead air, sir. I'm back. It's still going on. This is what I was talking about, guys. There are a lot of libraries. You have to get used to this now. So we'll just have to wait for that to happen. So what we are doing right now is installing all the packages. You'll notice on the left side, a folder called Node Modules has been created. It wasn't there a few minutes ago. So when you watch the recording, if you rewind 5 minutes before from here, you will see that folder never existed. So what happens is when you do npm install, all these additional libraries, which actually make the project run, will get downloaded from the internet. So that is what is happening right now. You can see like a small squiggly line. It's like downloading. That's what I told you about. There's no escaping this. We need these packages. So we're just going to wait for its installation to run its course. So we're just waiting, guys. There's not much I can do about this. There's no way to speed it up. So we will wait, and we will wait. Professor, if you have any questions or if there is any specific step you want me to explain while we wait, I can do that, sir.
I don't have any specific questions at this time. I'm hoping our participants will definitely raise some issues at the end. So let's just wait it out until the end then.
Okay, so while it is installing, I already have the project running. That's why I keep it ready, because of these kind of things. So let me just go to that while we wait for this, so I can tell the students about the HTTP methods. We can jump back to this there, because I was going to explain that HTTP methods anyway. So folks, while we wait for the download to complete, let's go ahead and discuss the main HTTP method that I was talking about. So some theory before I actually show you the code. So what are these HTTP methods? So folks, the internet, right? It has all these protocols and rules about how the internet devices should talk to each other. Like how is me sitting here and I'm right now in the city called Coimbatore. So how am I sitting here in Coimbatore being able to talk to you? And again, over the internet, the information, the video, the audio is getting transmitted over some protocol. So one of those protocols is HTTP. That's the method. So in order to send data, receive data, there are some ready to use standardized methods. So that collection of methods, they are called as HTTP methods. So the HTTP methods are actually how this specific session is happening right now. It is because of this protocol. So obviously they do matter a lot, right? Sending data, receiving data. At the end of the day, that's what every computing device does. Mobile phone or tablet or PC, they send data, they receive data. They are constantly using these HTTP methods. So as a developer, you either as a back-end developer or a front-end developer or ultimately as a full-stack developer, you will be either building endpoints using HTTP methods, or as a front-end developer, you will be sending or receiving data using endpoints that use these HTTP methods. So either way, whether you are a front-end developer or a back-end developer or a full-stack developer, you will end up using these HTTP methods. So what exactly is the standard feature of an HTTP method? So the HTTP method, there is like a request line or a request pipeline. Like a example is like there. You have something like get. Get is one of the HTTP method. We'll see that today. And then it'll have like a route or a route. You can see here, this part here, the user section. Oh, hold on. I need to, yeah. So you can see here, it is part of the example endpoint will be like get is a type of HTTP method. And then you have a route / users. And this is the protocol version number. We are using 1.1. That is the standard protocol these days. So what it does is this get thing, the HTTP method will tell the server what it has to do. So in this case, if it is a get HTTP method, then we are trying to get some data from the server. That's what a get method would do. And here there are main HTTP methods corresponding to the standard database operations like create, read, update, and delete. So these are the standard operations. For each of them, there is a corresponding HTTP method. And HTTP protocol also takes care of things like routing, caching, authorization, and of course, what we are really trying to build today, which are web API. So all these things come under the purview of a HTTP method. So these are the common methods here. Before I jump into it, let me see if the installation is complete so we can return to that. It is still happening. Professor, I don't know what is going on here today. It may not finish today, in which case I will just have to, I don't understand, Professor. It's never taken this long. I wonder if it is stuck. Guys, again, this is something which may happen to you as well. Very embarrassing when this happens, especially in a live session, but that's okay. It's not the internet. We're able to, Professor, you can see me, right? There's no
Yes, I can
blurring.
see
Yeah, I
everything.
don't know.
Yes.
Okay, guys, we'll let that finish. It's okay. We can continue with the theory. It should finish
All
in a few
right.
minutes because anyway, I have to discuss these things. Okay, so what are the common HTTP methods? First one is the get. As the word says, get is where you are getting data from the server. Okay, when we say retrieve a resource, we use the word resource because you're not always just getting text. You could be getting an image, you could be getting a video, you could be getting a PDF, it could be anything. So that is why we use the word resource, which contains everything from text data to images and media files and all that. Next common method is post. So the post method is all about submitting data to the server. Like for example, like just now when I sent a file from my laptop to you, that would be a post request inside the Zoom servers. So that is what a post does. It allows you to submit data or send data. Next, put. Put is about replacing a data. So put is when, like, for example, let's say you create an account or an email address or something, and then there'll be an option like edit profile or something like that, where maybe you made a spelling mistake or something, or maybe the age is wrong or the date of birth is wrong. So you'll have an edit button. When you click on it, you're able to change the spelling, fix your date of birth. So which means you're not sending data, like, because the data is already sent, but you're now trying to replace data that is already there. So that is the difference between a post is like fresh data, put is like replacing the data, okay, which is already there. Now patch is kind of like between post and put. So patch is like, okay, in put, what you're doing is, let's you're trying to replace the entire full complete set of data, whereas in patch you are just trying to change one specific item of the data. So again, going back to the profile example, so there you're just trying to change the whole thing. But patch is like, okay, I just want to change my phone number today, or you want to change one letter in your phone number. So like that partial update, that would be the patch endpoint. Then you have the delete endpoint. So again, let's say you create an account in some website, and now you want to completely get rid of it, or you added something in a website, and now you want to get rid of it completely. That would be the delete HTTP method. Then finally, there are two more of them options: connect and trace. Connect and trace is a special purpose. We don't always use it. Options, again, we don't really use it all the time. So these are like extra things. We don't really have to like worry about it because we won't be using it in our project. But you should good to know, like, in case while you're developing, while you're studying, if you come across options, connect or trace, you know that they're also HTTP methods, but they're not used, and it definitely not really something which is used in our project. So the main ones are get, post, put, patch, delete. Even the head option, even the head also, again, something we don't always use it. In fact, in my project we're not using it. So just for you to know that, okay, there are other HTTP methods different than the main ones, the top 5 ones. You also have head, options, connect, and trace. So these are the common methods that you will be seeing. But even within this list, the main ones are the top 5 ones. The remaining ones, something for you to know in case you see it in your studying or in the exploring. You see that, then you know, oh, okay, so there are other HTTP methods as well. Okay, before I go to the next slide, Professor, I'm going to risk it and try to see if the download is complete. If it is complete, that is great. Otherwise, for this scenario, that's why I had the project running even before the session started as a backup, sir. I'll just use that one for the next step. So,
all right.
now, Professor, it is just not our day today, and it's not even my fault. I didn't do anything
Don't
for
worry
it to.
about it. Yes.
Yes, so I have a backup for these guys. Already have a project running, so we'll let this run. It could be some glitch. You saw that website, right? Even the Supabase that was not running today could be some, outage. One of those things you hear in the news. It could be happening today. Okay, all right, guys. So I'm glad I have a backup ready. So where is my backup? So I go here to VS Code. So there you go, guys. Here already, this is the next step for me, really. So where once you have done that npm install step, now what you would do is you would be running the project. So let's check that README file again. So here, what was the step that got stuck there? Npm install, right? So it's still running. We'll let it run. Maybe some glitch today. We'll not worry about that. Luckily, I have a backup where npm install step has been completed. So once you do that npm install step, what is the next step? So there you go, folks. We have 2 more commands that we have to run. First one is called npm run Prisma generate. Okay. Again, I'll go into detail about what this step does in the next session, right? So today I just want to finish this and run the project. Okay. And then I'll take the question and wrap up for the day, right? So here, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and you want to run this command. Let me make that. There are 2 commands. Let me put them both before I make them bigger. Okay, so there you go, folks. Remember to run these 2 commands. Let me make this one. Yeah, there you go. These 2 commands, please write it down. And of course, the session is getting recorded. So we need to go ahead and run these 2 commands. npm run Prisma generate npm run Prisma migrate. So please make a note of it. So what I'll do here is I'll go here and I'll quickly run those two commands in my terminal. So I'll go to the terminal. This should run. This is happening locally. It shouldn't delay. Oh, there you go. It's already done. You can see here, you should get a message that says generated client. What the client is, we'll talk about in the next session. Now, that was the first command. The second command is here, migrate. So I'm going to put that migrate. And this should also go without any problems because I already tested it. It's already running. So it should say in a few seconds that, hey, everything is working just fine. But it takes a few seconds though. We'll just have to wait for it. Oh, there you go, folks. It clearly says that, okay, your database is already in sync and everything is great. No errors or anything like that. So that's the next few steps. After that, the last step, guys, is npm run dev. So after this is done, please run the command npm run dev. Let me just make that big as well so you can see it. Increase the font. Okay, there you go, folks. Okay, so next step would be for us npm run dev. So I'm going to go back to my terminal. I'm going to type that command npm run dev, and I'm going to press enter. And again, I don't expect any errors in this one because I already tested it before the session. You will see there is something called listening on port 4000, right? So it's running somewhere on port 4000. So what do we do? If you go back to my README file, where it contains the steps, there will be a link called docs. Professor, are you able to see it, sir? Localhost 4000/docs. So once you get this message that says listening on 4000, it's very important. It has to say 4000. So then you click on this link and it open that green, gray, colorful button thing. So when you get here, that means your project is running exactly as it is supposed to run, and you are ready for the next session. So again, this is why I think this is why last year I found out one of the students said, Jay, you give us all these links. It runs on your laptop, but I can't run it on my machine. So you should really, before you start a new topic, please show how to run the project. And we saw here, this guy is still installing. So I guess this is the kind of challenge the students are facing. So I modified my training so that I show them, what you have to do. Guys, if it stays that, it shouldn't take this long. So if it still keeps running, just do Control C, cancel. See, somewhere some error might have happened. So just go ahead and try the step again after a minute or so, right? So there you go. So if it goes endlessly, just cancel it, Control C, and then try it again after a few minutes. Sometimes I think here what happened was maybe this folder, there's something wrong with it. So I may have to try it in a new folder, do a fresh download or something like that. But otherwise, as you can see, the project is definitely running, and this is what you should get at the end of the session. So this is where we are going to stop here, folks, because I do have to take some questions and everything. So next session, I'm going to assume you watch this recording and you're able to run the project so that I can go to the next step and explain the actual HTTP methods and the code that makes all this work. It's going to be very exciting. So, Professor, this is where I'm going to come back to you, Professor. So this is where I've stopped with the methods. Oh, yeah, that was the next step. Project demo, that's what we're going to start continue in the next session as mentioned. So back to you, Professor. Professor, your microphone is gone. We can't hear you. It's not muted or anything, but your microphone is not picking up your voice.
Okay, what about now? 1, 2,
yeah, you're
3.
back, sir.
So that was a terrible. Thank
lot
you
of
very
glitches
much.
today. Lot of glitches. It's not even our fault. It's not our fault.
Not glitches from time to time, and there is absolutely nothing we can do. But definitely, thank you very, very for a very, very.
Professor, you're gone again. You're gone again. Sorry, Professor, you're gone again.
your microphone and use the microphone of the computer. What about
Yes,
now?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it's stable. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm back on the microphone.
Default microphone, the
Yeah.
default one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We apologize to you, brothers and sisters, for any misdeed today. Pretty much like our SME has explained, things happen with technology. Every once in a while, there are issues which we can overcome anyway, and this is exactly what has happened today. But I do hope you took full advantage of this beautiful presentation. Don't forget the one sheet document that Professor J
Send it
has
again, Professor.
posted
Yeah.
for you. He did it at the very beginning, and I did it as well on my end, Professor
Oh,
J. I took it
okay, sir.
from you,
Oh,
downloaded
okay.
it on my computer, then reposted it on the chat box. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you can grab this document before we shut down this session, which is going to happen in the next 10 minutes. So, we do have some time for you for your questions. Again, today, for some reason, some of the folks who usually attend our sessions are still enjoying their end of the year vacation and they haven't showed up. There's huge numbers which we used to see are not part of our festival, our academic feast today, but no matter what, the floor is open to everybody, brothers and sisters. Uh, it is your time right now. You can do it live by speaking your questions, or if you prefer, if you are a little shy, like myself, you may choose to go to the chat box and type in your questions. Both Professor J and I will enjoy reading those questions and eventually answering them as well. Emmanuel Owowe, for the first question, we are ready. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the lecture. So I just want to know what kind of projects do we have in mind that we are running this for? So maybe if I can understand the kind of project we want to run as we're doing this whole programming for.
Right. So in this one, right, I have the backend ready right now. So for the purpose of these series of sessions, I am building a very simple note tracking software. So you can see here, let me zoom in so you can see the titles a little bit better. You can see it's a note-taking software. So like, let's say like a shopping list or a reminder to yourself. So whenever you want to do something, you simply go ahead and add a note. Like, for example, I'm talking right now. Before the session, for example, I make a checklist like what I'm going to do. So let's say you're planning a weekend or something. So you would go ahead and add a note like, okay, 10 o'clock, buy groceries. 12 o'clock, I don't know, visit the doctor. So this is a simple note-taking software that eventually we'll be building. But as a first step, we are building the backend that will store the notes in a database.
Thank you very much, Professor J. Let me add a little bit to your answer to Emmanuel's question. Brothers and sisters, this is just for Emmanuel, but for everybody else, the question I understand, the way I understand it from Emmanuel is what kind of projects can we run with this type of insights? One thing that many participants have sometimes overlooked is that we're talking about JavaScript. And it's not something that you just jump on it and get it done. You must do some additional work to build a foundation, which is part of the series that Professor J has been sharing with us for a long time, which means there is a huge series of lessons and hands-ons and pragmatic experiences that you've got to go through in order to have some kind of mastery or understanding of JavaScript, the way it works, before you can actually have your hands solidly on this system to run a particular project. So let me know if this addition to your answer is truly accurate, Professor J.
Yes, Dr. Watson. Yes, sir. I think Mr. Aure. I think that's how I can pronounce. I hope that's okay. So yeah, yes, Mr. Aure. That's what we mean. So that's what this project is. But yes, sir. Before previous sessions, I had sessions. Yes, sir. It's all linked. Yes, sir.
It's pretty much, if we were to make a very, very simple analogy, we could go, being a teacher myself, I understand this concept. When sometimes I remember those times when I was a high school teacher, they would bring me students who have nothing really about the very, very first steps. And it's used to be a fight for me and for the student as well, the new student we're talking about, to get these things to be understood or to be worked on, to go maybe down some levels with our analogy. We could think of a student who doesn't know how to do divisions, for example. And when we inquire, we find out that the student does not know about numbers at all, which makes this world completely impossible. So, this is basically what we are talking about, brothers and sisters. No matter what, this level of topics is fairly high compared to, let's say, what we would tend to call the basics. And we are fortunate to have had and to continue to have somebody of the caliber of Professor J, who lays out this series of lessons in the world of JavaScript. And one thing that I would really like to recommend that everybody does is to go to the entire series, let's say from the very beginning. Those lessons, those classes are still available on our website. And if for any reason one of your brothers and sisters would have an issue about getting those previous lessons, you may touch base with your tutors, and those folks will do the proper diligence to ensure that you have access to the whole series, including the very first ones, so that you would miss out anything at all. And by the time the blink of your eye, you will gain that kind of mastery that Professor J is looking forward for you. Let me ask a quick question, Professor J. Let's say, for example, when it comes to the HTTP module, Hypertext Transport Protocol, that's what HTTP stands for, which of course allows people to have client web browsers or clients to communicate with web servers. What about if for some reason glitches accumulate within the system? So what happens when we try to send or receive documents, videos, or whatever that is?
So there are two things that can happen here. Like
yes.
One thing is, even a very basic server that we are building, if there is a failure at any level, whether it is the database level or on the server level, like there are two things happening here, sir. The server which runs the actual server, and then the database server where the data is stored. So these are two main point of failures. So if either one of them experiences failure, if the coding is done, then there would be a specific error code and an error message that gets sent out Like if the server has failed, there'd be an error message that says the server has failed. If the database has failed, then the message would say the server is fine, the database is failed. So it would communicate, like if you're normally, like let's say if you're using a mobile app or if you're using a browser or something, then the browser would take that error message and show it anyway. Like, hey, you know what? The server is down, or the server is fine, but your database is down.
That's very, very beautiful and important piece of information.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, our cherished participants, always make sure you pay very close attention to the error messages, which Professor J just alluded to. Sometimes you're trying to get something accomplished, whether you are working with a database or anything else in the world of computer, and you cannot get things to be accomplished. But if you pay very close attention, again, you're going to see that there are some error messages that pop up here and there, telling you exactly what's wrong, what's going on, so that you can take the appropriate steps to correct these errors so that you can get back online with whatever you're trying to achieve. Again, the floor is still yours, brothers and sisters, and I'm looking around. I don't see any hand up. I'm also monitoring the chat box. Let me see if there is anything that is new. Nothing else. Emmanuel.
Professor, I think you're right, sir. Our usual crowd, I think they're still traveling or something. I do get that feeling. The familiar faces are missing, yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, very unfortunate that we don't have other questions. We don't have any other issues, but maybe Delmas wants to bring up something. Let me see if I can grab something there. Ah, okay. It is Delmas Lovuminan Zawu, whom I just communicated with about the file you put in the chat box. You have it there. And I reposted it, and apparently Delmas is having an issue. But for you, Delmas, or for any other attendee, the way to grab that document is to right-click. Let me repeat. You look at the document. If you double-click on it, nothing's going to happen. You got to right-click, and the system will give you the option of downloading the message. If you try any other way, that's not going to work. Again, you can see the document on the chat box, and then go ahead with your mouse, right-click on it. If you try to do that with a phone, that's not going to work. If you try with a tablet, most of the time, that's not going to work either. So you've got to make sure you in a desktop computer where you would right-click on the document, and the option to download it will just pop up on your computer. So at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Atlantic International University, I want to thank you for your kindness to join us for this beautiful and important, I would say, spectacular session with Professor J. Bakahali Wadakrishnan Vijayasimha, Professor J. And I'm going back to you at this time, Professor J, for a conclusion on your end, please.
Thank you, Dr. Watson. Guys, so there you go. So remember, when you watch this recording, we'll continue exactly from this point to the next part in the next session. So don't forget to watch the session before the next session. So as always, guys, in the document I've shared with you, and also in the beginning, I put my website link. So if you go there, you'll find tutorial videos, and there's a discussion forum as well. The link is there in the document and also in the beginning of the slide as well. So if you have questions, you can ask there. Usually within, you can see there are a lot of other students asking questions. I usually reply within 24 hours. I've done that in the past. I've been doing it for many years, and I'll do it for you also in the future. Okay, so that's all there is to it from me, Professor. So back to you, sir, and I'm going to stop the screen sharing as I do that. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much for a job extremely well done as usual. And Atlantic International University is very, very grateful to you, Professor Jay. Thank you very much.
Same here, Professor. We've been going on for like 3+ years now. So thank you so much, sir.
We look forward to having you again very, very soon. Once again, Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, New Year to you also, sir. And the student,
and the student. To everybody else. And I have no doubt that all of you want to say the same thing to Professor Jay. So I just turned all your microphones on so that you can speak to Professor.
Happy New Year, guys. I'll see you guys in the next session, okay? I'm so glad you guys are here.
Happy New Year.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye.